What's up guys? It's Marissa with Barely Keeping It Together, and today I want to talk to you all about Japandi interior design style. What is it? How do you get it? How do you implement it into your life? Give me some examples, all the things. So let's get into Japandi.
I'm Marissa. I'm a borderline crazy dog mom, entrepreneur, interior design obsessed, pop culture enthusiast. I'm here to bring you all things interiors, life hacks, personal development, organization, and manifestation. I'm the kind of woman who doesn't have the patience to get through this recording. So let's get into it. This is Barely Keeping It Together.
If you guys enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. It does so much for creators like myself here on YouTube. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the Japandi interior decor style, how it came together, what it includes, and how you can use it in your own home. So first of all, Japandi is a combination of Japanese Zen and Scandinavian Huga, right? So imagine you're combining Scandinavian design, think IKEA, but a little more upscale than IKEA, and Japanese Zen garden. So what exactly does that mean? It is an aesthetic that is incredibly minimal. There's lots of clean lines, there is no clutter, and there is low pieces of furniture. So let me give you some visual examples of what some Japandi rooms look like. So when you are seeing a Japandi space, you're going to see texture over pattern. You're not going to see any pops of color. If you do see any color, it's probably going to be a green, like a natural earthy green, or a rust color, reddy orange color, which is going to be a nod to that Japanese style. Most spaces are going to be grounded with black. You guys know I love black decor, so I'm all about it. I think that the Japandi style is absolutely gorgeous, and the Japanese are known for using black in their spaces. Now, while the Japanese may use mid or darker toned woods in terms of stains, the Scandinavians tend to use light and bleached woods. So in the Japandi style, you're going to see a lot more light and bleached woods. Now, that actually brings me over to the Scandinavian side of Japandi design, and what that is it is a lot of light colors. Now, in Scandinavian countries, there is a lot of dark winter months without a lot of natural light. So their Scandinavian style focuses on making spaces seem larger, brighter, and getting more light, while also still being cozy and having the Huga elements that make you feel warm and cozy. So what does this mean? It means, although you can paint the walls, I would actually suggest you keep your walls really nice and light, a tone of white, a warm white, a cool white is fine as well, or just a very, very light tan or gray. And then you want to make sure that you incorporate as much natural light as possible by either not covering your windows, having minimal wall coverings with sheers and things like that. You just want to make a space seem very open and bright. And if you're doing architecture, having lots of windows to let that natural light in as well. I also already mentioned the light furniture, but they also have a very clean and minimal look to the Scandinavian aesthetic as well. Now, a lot of times in Scandinavian design, you're also going to see a lot of light grays. Think light heather gray. So I would like to see that incorporated as well if you're putting together a Japandi style space. Now, they also love handcrafted pieces, just like the Japanese Zen style. So you're going to see that a lot in the combination of the two spaces as well. Now, the other thing is Huga. Now, I did a video all about Huga, how to incorporate it into your life, and I can link that above here if you're interested in learning more about that. But Huga is a concept that we actually don't have a word for here in English, but it is basically, imagine the feeling of coziness, and there are a lot of different elements of Huga in Scandinavian lifestyle, of which we can use in interior design is anything that makes you feel cozy. So lots of candlelight, dim lighting, options of lighting, fireplaces is really big, and it's about spaces that we can be together and spend time together. It's not really about being alone. So you're going to see a lot of seating options, so whether that's a sectional or chairs around a fireplace, that sort of thing, because Huga is all about being cozy and spending time together. So now you want to craft your Japandi space. I'm going to give you some rules that you can use in your design of how you can create the perfect Japandi space at your house. So let's get into those rules. So the first thing is your space needs to be minimalist and no clutter. All clutter needs to be put away because Japanese Zen and Scandinavian both are all about minimalism. So you don't want clutter out and about in your space. Very clean lines. You're also going to want very clean lines in your furniture. You want your furniture to be utilitarian. You want things to have a use. You don't just have furniture to have furniture. You have furniture because it has a use. So you might have a coffee table with a poof that could be a seat next to it, for example. And you're going to have a very natural color palette with almost no pops of color. So think of whites, blonde woods, and blacks to ground your space, and then you can sort of accessorize from there. Now, when we talk about accessories, I would suggest to use branches over plants. If you look at some of the gorgeous Japandi designs online, you're going to see a lot of vessels with branches coming out of them, maybe even cherry blossoms, by the way, because that's very Japanese. So you can order some faux online. I will link them down in the description below. Rather than a plant having some sort of branches coming out of that vessel, it's going to look very chic, minimalist, and modern in your Japandi space. Now, keep in mind when you're purchasing furniture, the Japanese Zen style is very low lines. Now, Scandinavian is all about clean lines. Japanese is clean and low, so lower pieces of furniture. So if you're buying a coffee table or a bed, something lower to the ground is going to give that Japanese Zen aesthetic to your Japandi room. And when you are picking materials, you want things to be very natural. And this is in any sort of room. So you're going to want to stay away from sort of these man-made textures like plastic and acrylic and that sort of things, and you want to lean in to natural materials, so ceramics and woods. And then even if you're doing a bedroom, you're going to want to do cottons and linens because it feels very natural. You don't want a patterned bedspread. You want a linen textural bed, like duvet cover over a wooden bed is going to give that Japanese very natural aesthetic. And then when you're picking things, try to layer your textures over buying any sort of pattern. So maybe you have a textured sort of throw over your duvet cover, something along those lines. Lean into those textures and those natural materials. Even potentially a cement coffee table. A low cement coffee table would sort of combine that Japanese and that Scandinavian in a really, really nice way. In this natural space, you're going to want to buy handcrafted pieces. So whether you're buying mass market at somewhere like Home Goods or something like that, look for handcrafted pieces. And then the Japanese have this idea of WabiSabi, which is embracing the beautiful in imperfection. But to be totally honest with you, in interior design, the way that I see WabiSabi is it's almost like curated imperfection. They're very aware of the imperfection in the room. It's not like a mess or something like that. It's very curated. You're aware of a crack in an aged vessel and you're purposely highlighting it and calling it beautiful. You're not just dropping a plate. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's just like, it's curated and it's intentional imperfections within the design and celebrating the beauty in those imperfections, but it's not like mistaked imperfection. So sorry. I know it kind of ruins the concept of WabiSabi, but that's how I see the design. It's definitely very curated. Now, I would also make sure you use a light wall color, potentially either a warm white or a very, very light gray on the walls. It's going to allow the space to have lots of light and just feel lighter and brighter because that is huge in Scandinavian design where they don't get a lot of light in the winter months. A really cool way that you can incorporate the Japanese Zen aesthetic is by using wood slats. This is awesome for DIY projects. I've seen a ton of things on Pinterest, whether you're making your own bed, you're making your own headboard, or you're just doing a wall treatment. Incorporating wood slats into your design is going to give a huge nod to that Japanese Zen aesthetic within the Japandi family. So as I mentioned, I want to make it super easy for you guys to get that Japandi aesthetic within your own home. So I'm going to link everything down in the description below, but I have found a couple of coffee tables on Amazon that are either low and wood or low and concrete, as well as a low wood bed frame that would be perfect for if you are doing a bedroom in the Japandi aesthetic. Also, don't forget to get candles. Now, within that Huga concept, they don't use the scented candles that we use here in the US. It's very much like white pillar candles that are purely for the ambiance that they bring into a room rather than scent and color and all the other things that we do here in the US. So if you are incorporating candles, I'll link some down below, just normal pillar candles as well as the long taper candles for dining tables. Ooh, if you guys had like a long Japanese dining table with a bunch of pillar candles, so beautiful. Now, also another thing, if you are styling shelves or you're styling a kitchen in that Japandi aesthetic, getting a Japanese tea set can be absolutely gorgeous. And I actually recently bought one from Amazon, so I will link that down in the description below because it just sort of adds to that natural element of the Japanese Zen. So anyways, those are a couple things that you can incorporate. And then also I want to suggest making sure that if you are getting pillow covers, which I will link down below, again, just consider everything I'm talking about, I'll link down below. But if you're getting pillow covers, look for either cotton or linen pillow covers for a living space. And if you are doing bedding, again, it's going to be either cotton or linen or some sort of natural material, not jute, because that would literally hurt your feet. I mean, your body. You wouldn't put jute on your, you know what I mean? So something that is cozy and just gives those sort of vibes. And again, no pops of colors. And when in doubt, keep it minimal. Just keep the space empty and open if you're not sure exactly what you want to put on the space. Now, if you guys have any questions, leave me a comment down below. I would love to make more videos for you just like this about Japandi, about different design styles. Let me know, what design style is yours and what do you want to learn about how to incorporate into your house? Is it boho? Is it glam? Is it traditional? Is it beach? Like, what is it that you guys want to learn about? Because I want to make the videos for you here on YouTube because it's your tube. Oh my God, that's so corny. The other thing I wanted to tell you guys about is I am actually launching my own design consulting and e-design services. So if you guys are interested in working directly with me, you can check out the link down in the description below where you can schedule a one-on-one consult or sign up for e-design services for your space as well. So go check that out, linked down in the description below. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up. It does so much for my channel, and subscribe. I will chat with you later. Bye.